Hello everyone, I'm still Pavlo, and as I've said in the previous video, we'll make a giant leap forward from retro model to new and fresh and recently released. And it's FiiO FH19. As name suggests, it's an updated version of FiiO's hybrid flagship, really popular model FH9. So this model was pretty strongly redesigned, not only in terms of exterior, but also in terms of driver configuration. Here I used two dynamic drivers per each ear. They are co-developed with Onkyo, well-known Japanese company, and two dynamic drivers work in push-pull configuration, and also on top of that FiiO added 6 nose balanced armatures, proprietary acoustic tuning schemas. So if you're interested in details, go and check out their website. They often share a lot of technical information. And the price is $600, which is pretty okay for this amount of drivers and other stuff. So let's have a closer look and find out how do they perform. Package is pretty stylish and pretty minimalistic, so some abstract triangles, patterns looks pretty fancy. No photos, no schemas, blow-up diagrams or something like that. Inside we having cardboard box, quick start guide. If you unsure what to do with earphones, you can read this quick start guide. So then goes plastic tray with earpieces themselves. Let's take them out. Okay, no, we'll take them out later. Then, interesting case, you can see, pretty unusual in shape. A bit of silica gel. Set of screw tuning filters. And the nicely organized set of tips. 2 pair of foams, 3 pair of gray, light gray, even lighter gray, and double flange tips. And that's, I suspect it's not all tips. Most likely we'll have some more here. So 3.5mm adapter, set of spin fits, and 2 additional sets of tips. So one is FiiO HS18 and set of transparent silicons. I won't be unpacking them right now to make this video a bit shorter. Then MM6 removal tool, cleaning tool, and this nice magnet stripe for cable organization. Pretty convenient way of winding and organizing cable. As you can see, accessory set is really rich here. Of course, for their hybrid flagship, FiiO created unusual design, and here they utilized titanium and aluminium. They created mid-frame out of titanium and outer shell of aluminium. Also, you can check out this external faceplate with unusual big vent holes. But at the same time, they are not absolutely open, they are semi-open, because they're not leaking too much sound outside and not getting too much noise inside. But at the same time, here FiiO utilized 2 acoustic chambers from each side of the dynamic drivers to provide the maximum freedom of movement and get more spacious sound. Of course, shells are a bit thick, because inside we have 2 dynamic drivers, 6 balanced armatures, and different electronics and acoustic tuning filters. But at the same time, inner part is pretty ergonomic. FiiO spent time on tweaking it too. So in my ears they fit great. Spouts have good angle, providing comfortable fit. You can unscrew this part and change it to get a bit different tuning. There are 3 filters in the accessory set, but actually their difference is not really big, it's just small minor tweakings. And this filters also works as lip for holding the tips, providing good fit. And they are not super heavy, so they feels really great in ears. Cable is made replaceable. Here used ear hooks, of course without memory wire, MMCX connectors, pretty tightly fitting ones, and the cable it's pure silver leads, so really good cable, and it's nicely braided. It's really soft, so I think it's a wire that is worth this price tire and worth flagship status. It goes braided to the splitter with chin slider, and after the splitter it goes down to this jack, and here we getting traditional schema. Unscrew, pull out. Of course it fits really tight. If you need to replace it, then match groove and notch here. And once I missed that and screwed, and it wasn't great thing. So screw back and you can easily swap jacks on your cable. So as you can see, in terms of exterior design and wearing comfort, it's also on the great level. And of course we need to talk about the sound. As usual I used the middle or so-called balanced filter, but in case of these earphones, 3 filters that came with them don't change sound too much. Signature remains about the same, and filters tweaking sound a little bit to your preference, and that's all. So what of course grabs your attention when you first listen to this model, it's the bass. It's super powerful and firm, and at the same time well controlled. In terms of actually quantity, it's not too much. It's pretty natural in terms of bass quantity. Almost zero additional weight, but when it comes to the speed and punch and raw power and rumble and depth, all that things are really great here. Bass goes to the maximum depth, gives you great sense of presence, gives you great punch and great impact. It's really good in rendering small nuances and textures. So it's really realistic and lifelike, but at the same time it's not adding almost any weight. So it's a bit unusual sounding at first, because we mainly used to bump at low frequencies with accent on the lows. But after slight ears accommodation, it sounds really superb with great resolution. And you know, sometimes it feels like close to planar magnetic driver, or like to the mix of dynamic drivers and balanced armatures, because you're getting both speed and at the same time firmness and tightness. And first example, it's Massive Attack Teardrop. Superb, powerful hitting low frequencies. And what I also like here with these earphones, they don't over-accent the low frequencies. So when we getting some low frequency instruments, there is no additional weight, and it doesn't turn like, I don't know, cello to double bass. But here we getting multi-layered, well-rendered bass, and on top of that bass we getting nice mids and high frequencies. And that's a great example. It's Amber Rubarth Tundra, and it's so-called audiophiliac record with really firm low frequencies, and at the same time not over-accented and not oversaturated with different information. Lows here not dominating, but at the same time really rich and well recorded, and these earpieces render that superbly. Coherence is another strong part of these earphones, and taking into account four-ways crossover and a lot of different acoustic tuning filters and electronic crossover, FiiO did a great work in combining that all together and making sound coherent. Actually, I'm noticing that more and more earphones became coherent, and we are rarely getting coherence issues now, so everything improves. But FiiO are like one step ahead of many in this competition, and you're getting a superb transition from this tight and powerful dynamic drivers to the balanced armature part. And the six balanced armatures allowed the FiiO to achieve good weight and at the same time nice resolution. So you're getting superb weight distribution on the mid frequencies and at the same time great amount of small nuances and details. At the same time, these earphones doesn't try to focus on the micro contrast. They don't try to give you accent on small nuances and details. They are present but not dominating in the overall mix. They are more about dynamics and emotions. And in this aspect, they sound really great. This semi-open design, of course, helps them to build a pretty impressive spacious stage that helps you to immerse into the sound. Width is superb with great separation, and depth is slightly smaller than width, but also pretty good with really nice layer transitions. So in terms of stage building, they are not super spacious, but at the same time they have good volume and position everything really well. They are not super critical for the quality of record, but at the same time better material of course will give you better results. But because they don't oversaturate treble and mids, they are not highlighting issues too much. So first example, it's Behemoth, Blow Your Trumpets Gabriel. Great example of really heavy metal, and introduction sounds really impressive with these earphones because they have this powerful dominating drums and bass line and guitars. Everything is pretty low, pretty rumbly, pretty saturated, and the superb technical and weighty low frequencies here gives you the foundation of this track, but nice balance of weight and dynamics and emotions on the mids give you main guitar and vocal and other instruments too. And second example, much more natural, less focused on distortion. It's George Michael, Feeling Good, live version with symphonic orchestra. Pretty decent record for the pop track. Great performance, great emotions, really good and pleasant vocal, familiar to billions of people all around the world, and great track, nicely performed. And these earphones with their dynamics and emotions also represent this track in a really nice manner. And thanks to good building of the stage, also you getting good sense of immersion. Treble here is nice, especially if you don't like piercing and aggressive treble. Of course, they're not trying to make treble soft or to hide it. It has good, noticeably above average extension, but at the same time, it has really nice attacks and decays. So from balanced armatures, I've expected a bit faster attacks and decays. But not in this case. FiiO did a good job balancing treble, and it sounds probably non-obtrusive, not super forward, but at the same time with good amount of overtones, with good amount of saturation. Layering is not superb, but on a nice level, and you're getting a good amount of information, but at the same time high frequencies are not piercing. When tracks are recorded with a lot of sibilance, of course you'll hear it, but it won't be super sharp. But at least it's to my ears, because, you know, if you're sensitive for the treble, it still can be too much for you, definitely. So it's not like super soft or super comfortable type of treble here. But it's the price we're paying to get all the nuances and details. So, first example, it's One for My Baby by Hugh, Laurie, and great track, nice performance. I like that it's really well recorded with vocal and a lot of different percussions and stuff going to the treble area with overtones, and it sounds pretty rich and pleasant with these earphones. And another famous track, it's Who Wants to Live Forever. First of all, you getting immersed into this atmosphere of this track, or into this orchestral piece, and all that instruments accompanying sounds really well, and of course Freddie's vocal overtones is rendered also nicely. I prefer treble probably a bit sharper, but it's a subjective thing. I understand that my tastes are not mainstream here. In terms of pairings, they don't require a lot of driving power, 16 ohms of impedance, and pretty high sensitivity means that they can work with almost any source in terms of power, but at the same time, of course, they require nice control to showcase their full potential, so probably mid-segment player or like top-of-the-line portable digital to analog converters or something like that will be a great plus for them. Speaking about the comparisons, just few models to like outline their position. So, first of all, it's a noticeable step to a different side from FH9. So, for me, it's a step forward because they became more technical, more refined, and more mature. But if you like the sound FH9, you can be that you won't like the sound of FH19. But if you want more refined and more technical sound with better staging, with tighter and faster low frequencies and more technical mids, it's a great option. If you don't want step to this side, probably you can stay with FH9. And the FA19, of course, they are more expensive, but they are more focused on the small nuances. They having more tiny details in the low frequencies. They have more refined and layered treble, but at the same time, their bass is less powerful than here. So FA19 more refined, more let's name this audiophilic, while this one is more on the fun side, but still pretty technical, but not as technical as FA19. If you're interested in some other comparisons, of course, feel free to ask. I will be glad to provide some more comparisons, but in general, I think that a lot of people will like this model. It offers a lot of great stuff, and at the same time, they are not dull, they are not lifeless, but at the same time they're not overdoing with some sound coloration or something like that. Really recommend you to listen to this model. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.